Hello and welcome to A Wheel Thing TV. I'm Dave Knoll. This week we're checking out the Ford Kuga Titanium with the diesel engine. The Ford Kuga in Australia, it's in its second model shape, based still on the Focus hatchback, and in this case with the diesel engine, 6-speed auto with sports mode, it's a pretty reasonable piece of kit. It's got a fair whack of equipment, including a very nice and very handy full glass roof. You've got warm leather seats, that terrible layout for the head unit, but it does come with a digital tuner. One of the great things about simple technology is being able to press a button and have your tailgate close automatically. It also works in reverse, where that little slot is at the bottom. There's a little button just inside, and that'll open it up for you as well. It's clearly a family-oriented vehicle. You've got your almost airline-style tray tops, and of course your folder seats and that kind of thing, and of course plenty of room for smaller children in the back of this particular vehicle. Rides pretty well, sitting on the Continental tyres, 235 by 45 by 19-inch rims on this particular vehicle. As you can see, it's got a reasonable amount of ride height on it. Styling, look, it's got the neon style taillights in it. It does run with LED driving lights, auto headlights, which is fantastic. A lot of people don't know how to use those, which is a real shame. And styling wise, it's actually not too bad. A little bit sharp edge maybe for some person's taste. I like it. I think it looks pretty good. And one of the big attractions about the car is just how quiet this diesel engine is. On the road, it's a very quiet car to drive. It moves along reasonably well, gets to 80 kilometres an hour before you even realise that you're up there. Brakes are nicely modulated and very smooth, doesn't require a lot of pressure in regards to the brakes themselves. Acceleration, as I mentioned, very progressive, really can get up and boogie once you're well and truly into the torque band for this diesel engine. It's a fairly clean, basic dash. Interesting to note that the diesel engine redlines at 4,500 RPM, and it does have well over 300 Newton meters of torque. We're running a little bit low on fuel as we record this, so forgive the bombs and chimes and everything. As I said earlier, a very quiet little diesel, and this information screen operated via these buttons just here comes up with lots of information once that seatbelt screen disappears, but it does give you a good idea of what's available. The cruise control works hand in hand with the adaptive radar system, which is mounted just up in here, and it really does work quite well. Sports mode, it does very easily slide back into sports mode when you just want to have it in drive. It should be one of these ones that moves across to the left or right, and it has that Holden Barina style, would you believe, style of the gear changes for sports mode up on here. Back to our dash, and information, as you can see, trots through 30 kilometres to empty. We've used a fair bit of fuel over the last few weeks, and there we go. We're talking about the fuel consumption of this car, 6.5 litres per 100. I still think it should be a little bit better than that, considering most of those kilometres were done on a highway system. Nice little car. Thank you again, Ford. Really enjoyed playing with the Ford Kuga, and in this case, the titanium specification. Handling is quite precise. It's a fairly tight turning circle on the car as well. A very quick and reactive steering ratio that they have fitted to the Kuga. Most of the normal bumps and thumps that you feel are pretty well isolated, considering that it's on 19-inch rims with 35 profile tyres as well. They've done a fair lot of work on the suspension to effectively Australianise the car for our particular road conditions. Really liked this particular vehicle. We were actually due to get the petrol engine car, but as it turned out we got the diesel instead. Took it on a nice long country drive down to the mid-southern coast of New South Wales from the lower Blue Mountains. About a 450 kilometre drive all in all, and it used just 3/4 of a tank of diesel to get down there. It's about a 60-litre tank in this particular vehicle. So overall consumption figures seem to hover around about 7 litres, maybe 7.5 litres per 100. I don't know if that could be a little bit better, to be perfectly honest. Having said that, we did try the cruise control with the adaptive radar system as well, which worked an absolute treat on the return trip, and we saw figures of 6.5 per 100 kilometres. Still maybe a touch high, considering that it was a total freeway highway run. Overall, like the car, Not a bad one indeed. Thank you, Ford. For a Wheel Thing TV, I'm Dave Canole.